And we appear to be live. Hello, welcome to Simon no茶の間, and I'd like to introduce my guest. Some of you may know her already, particularly you, Robert, and Frederick. This is... Hello, welcome to Simon no茶の間. And this is where you have to close that tab. This is Morgain Le Fae, and ASMR is here. Say hello, Morgain.
Oh yeah, hi. Or am I supposed to say something like?
Well, you could introduce yourself. Hi, I'm Morgain Le Fae. I'm echoing according to ASMR.
Well, yeah, yeah. I hate to introduce myself. So, okay, hi. Yeah, if you don't know me already, like I'm Morgain Le Fae, or that's my nickname. My name is Tina, and nice to meet you. I don't know, I'm not like used to this kind of chat and stuff like that here, but
Oh well, I see we have some more people in the comments. We have Mashu and Rena. You know them. So
hi.
Yeah. And we have Enigma Dave, who was on Radri's, who was in comments on Radri yesterday. Hello, Enigma Dave.
Hey. Hello. Yeah, I know him. I know him from like Twitter and stuff.
Oh, there you are. Yeah, it's close.
No.
Oh, you're being greeted in German by totally ASMR.
Oh, hi. I don't know who you are, but hi. But I have seen this person in my comment section, so I guess
he's fairly safe. Oh, and more German greetings from Frederick, of course, from Switzerland.
Yeah, nice. So shall we talk in German? Shall we?
We'll talk in Tina-ese. There we go.
Oh, by the way, Simon, you talked in German too, right? In the introduction video.
In the introduction, yes. Thanks to Google, who is my friend, and knowledge from about 30 years ago.
So you have learned German?
I learned. Well, there was options at school. After about the age of 12, we were up to the age of 12. We learned French and German, and then they said at about 12 or 13, they said you can choose. And I hated conjugating French verbs and speaking French, so I chose German up to about the age of 15, and then dropped that and did other things, and can't remember anymore after that. So excuse my German.
No problem. I was surprised, but it was really good.
Sorry?
It was really good, like in the introduction video.
Thank you. There was a big discussion in the advert. If you look at the advert in the comments, there was a big discussion over Vice. Somebody said I'd got it wrong. I think ASMR said I'd got it wrong, and somebody else commented, "No, it's not this." And then there was a big like toing and froing.
Okay.
Anyway, where are we? Yes, I shall now move. Briefly, because we have a little competition going, you and I, don't we?
No, I will lose.
I shall move to this location, and you shall tell me where this is.
What?
It's all very colourful.
Ooh.
You were there the other week. You should know where it is.
What?
You were there the other week. You should know where it is.
Seoul.
Yes, this is Seoul. In Korea.
Yeah.
Korea. So my first question of the evening to Morgain is, how was Korea?
How was Korea? Korea is amazing. I loved it.
Well, there you are. That was short and sweet. So, all right, let's go a little bit more in depth. How different would you say is the lifestyle culture in South Korea compared to Japan? And all the years that you lived in Japan and your 1 week in Korea, can you compare the lifestyle and culture, please?
Yeah, that's a difficult question. But yeah, I can't really compare Japan and Korean culture. But I would say, like, I loved Seoul because it is very similar to Tokyo, but on the other hand, it has also some different aspects. So what I loved was that I had absolutely no problems to get along, like to use the tram and the trains and like everything. And even though I can't speak Korean, a word Korean, like you can get along in English as well in Korea. That's a big plus. Like they can speak English a little bit better. And I don't know, it's so similar to Tokyo. I don't need to ask many people what's going on.
You're not sort of overpowered and lost and like, you know.
Totally not. Like it was so similar at some points, especially the train system. I was like really nervous because we had a flight that was landing around 10-11 in the evening. So I didn't really know if we could make it still to our hotel when the last trains were going, etc. So I was nervous about that, but absolutely no problem.
There you are.
Yeah,
so you could recommend it for anybody sort of like with like lots of free time in Japan, who've gone all the way to Japan, and you've got like a weekend to spare. You could hop over to I think Robert has been to Korea, haven't you? Believe in yourself, Robert. Yeah. Anybody else in the comments? Have you been to Korea? And what are your give us your opinions on Korea. I'm fairly ignorant of Korea and lots of other things, but mostly Korea. And I did a bit of research for this show, and we're now going to test one another on our knowledge of Korea. Let's have a go. I click on my tab. Simon no茶の間Tina Korea. Right. So, could you tell me? Do you know, by any chance, when the first inhabitants of Korea first appeared? No. Oh, apparently it's 8,000 BC, but not a lot of people know that. So yeah, I can't blame you for that. So you asked me something now about Korea, and I'll prove my ignorance.
I cannot ask you anything about Korea. I don't know anything about Korea. I don't know what I should ask you.
Oh, well, ask me what the writing system is. Ask me what the name of the current currency is. No, you didn't. Oh God.
Okay, yeah, I know the currency.
Okay, yeah.
But I even don't know how the writing system is called. Forgot the name.
Hangul.
Okay, yeah. See, I don't know.
I think the currency is won. One.
Yeah, it's one.
Yeah. So that's 3 for me. Sorry. Yes. We'll not delve any further into the history or culture of Korea because
especially history. History is hard for me. Like I don't even really know everything about German history, so don't ask me about Korean history. It's a little bit like it's embarrassing. I know, but
okay. Well, it's not my intention. Absolutely not my intention to embarrass my guests, unless it's for a cheap joke. But we shall moving swiftly on. I shall close that tab of South Korea. I may come back to it. You never know.
I only know Korean food is spicy.
Let's in the meantime go to Kanazawa.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, where's my video? No, let's go to this Kanazawa and start where's my playlist and start play because I fiddle about with this. All that. There we are. Can you hear Can you hear the water?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. There we are. I'm in a hot tub in Kanazawa, looking at Mount Fuji. That's it. So let's go to the question that's related to this background. I don't have a question related to this background. I think I had one too many beers last night. No, let's go to Kanagawa. This could be Kanagawa or it could be Kanazawa. I'm not sure. It's no, I have a Kanazawa question with a Kanazawa background, but this is This could be Kanagawa. You've lived in Kanagawa and now you live in Tokyo.
Yeah.
Of the two, which do you prefer?
Oh, that is a difficult question, but I would say now maybe just because of my age, I would prefer to live in a more quiet area. Like Kanagawa, for example, but it can be any other as well. It's just like when I was younger, I had absolutely no problem living in Tokyo, and then I moved here because of my work, so that I don't have to like take the train for over an hour to work. But yeah, it's too crowded. Like, but there are more quiet areas like in Tokyo as well. So.
I mean, that leads me nicely into the next question, or to another question, is that I've obviously been to Japan now 3 times, and obviously landed in Narita each time, and spent sort of quite a few days in Tokyo in each time. And despite it being apparently in terms of surface area, the largest city on earth, I still found it quite cozy. Would you agree? Would you agree that despite wanting to live in Kanagawa or Kanazawa, that it is quite a cozy city? Which is almost contradictory.
Compared to, I don't know, maybe because even though you have I can't speak today. Like, like. Thinking about all the people that are living in Tokyo, you can maybe say it's cozy. I'm not sure, like, it's maybe different when you visit Tokyo compared to when you really live in Tokyo. I had a lot of different impressions of Tokyo when I came here as a student compared to now, where I have to, like, I have this daily routine, You get up, you take the train, you go to work, you come home. It's a little bit different, so I don't have the cozy side of Tokyo. During my week, it's more like rush hour. I only have the rush hour every day, so I wouldn't say it's cozy, but it's only because of my current, like, because I'm living here.
When you're living there and working there, you don't get time to sort of chill too much, and wander around the streets. I mean, did I get to? I have to excuse me. I have to expand my app and see whether I got a. Yes, I did get a picture of that. Yes. So we'll be going later to a cozy area in Tokyo. We could go there now. Would you like to go there now to a cozy area in Tokyo? Okay. Here we go, and I'll start my playlist because this moves as well. like the other one. This is you might not recognize it. You may recognize it. Could you? At first glance, would you be able to recognize this area?
Koenji?
Close. Shimokitazawa. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. I mean, I find that one of the cozier areas of Tokyo, and Koenji as well, and Yanasen. But yeah, I mean, these are the kind of areas. I mean, you imagine. So you've got Roppongi, and you've got Ginza, you've got Omotesando, and all these like hectic places, Shibuya, Shinjuku. But then you've got places like this, which are a much cozier and more and comfortable. You can stroll around here, and there's a much more correct demographic. I would say there are a lot more older people in these areas.
Maybe because the young people are living in Tokyo, coming to Tokyo for work,
and they're all in sort of the busy places, which gives you hear about the Japan's aging population, and you turn up in Shibuya and say, where are they? So you went to Shimokitazawa recent. Well, you had a video from there. So I mean, when did you learn about it?
I was living near Shimokitazawa. It's I guess also in Kanagawa Prefecture. It's not really Tokyo. I don't know. Is Shimokita in Tokyo? I don't know.
It is. But, yes, it's just one of the districts. Yeah, I'm not quite sure in where it is, north, south, east, or west, but because I was all underground getting there. So.
But the place I was living in before in Kanagawa Prefecture was not far away from Shimokitazawa. So if you wanted to go to a cool place, then you had either to go to Tokyo or to Shimokitazawa. Like this was the nearest trendy, cool place to go to if you wanted to go shopping or anything.
I mean, I went there in I think 2016 because I was meeting somebody, but I actually did part of a Three Old Dudes live stream from a club in Shimokitazawa. I went downstairs and there was a salsa evening going on, and I asked them if it was okay, and they said yes. And so, I mean, I can't remember which episode, but I was there with my top hat, with like fairy lights around me in a club in Shimokitazawa. Rather bizarre, but it was fun.
Yeah, I love this area. It's really cool. Like, this would be an area where I would like to live in, but Shimokitazawa has become so popular that it's even difficult to get a good, not too pricey apartment in this area. Very popular.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, it's kind of like a very arty area as well. Yeah, so prices would shoot up. I'm just going to stop the movie because and I'll go back to a still picture. We're back in this could no. Hang on. Let's not go back in the bath. I'm getting all wrinkly. Let's go down to where? Yes, here we are. The Kanazawa. Because I mean, we've had you would recognise this probably once I started. It's your favourite place in Kanazawa.
The Kendokuen. This garden, landscape garden. Yeah, I recognise it.
I don't think. Well, I've not been there. I've been to lots of gardens in Tokyo and also one in Nagoya. But this one looks rather nice. I mean, it's not that far from Tokyo, presumably.
Oh, if you take the Shinkansen, it's maybe not too far. But if you take the normal train, it's like 7 hours. Maybe.
Oh God. Okay. I was way off.
Like I took the night bus. That was around 7 to 8 hours. Maybe the train is a little bit faster, but I don't know.
While we're in this peaceful environment and relaxing, sort of, we have a question completely unrelated to the backdrop. But Enigma Dave is asking. He often hears people talk about how overtime is required. We were just talking about this, weren't we? And he's curious about how many hours Tina works on average, if she doesn't mind answering that.
Okay, I'm working on average. Like you can I'm working at my company now for 1 year, around 1 year, and you can split it in half. Over the winter, I was working overtime nearly every day because I had to get used to my work and we didn't had enough stuff. So we were basically very, very busy. So I had to do some overtime like nearly every day, around 1 hour. But if you compare it, my job requires me not to work 8 hours per day, but 7.5. So if I do 1 hour, around 1 hour overtime, then I only work 8 hours and 30 minutes. Though that's still not bad, right? I think.
It's very good. And you don't have to work weekends either. It's just like a Monday to Friday, isn't it? Yeah, it's normal.
Right, yeah. It's basically a dream job. And since May around this year, we got several new people coming in. It's totally fine. No overtime. Like I had to work only once until 10 in the evening. That was quite intense.
Yes. Don't think I've ever worked till 10 in the evening.
But I just had to wait for a co-worker to finish her task so that I could finish my task. Because we have to, like, we're working together. Nobody can do something on his or her own, basically. Yeah. So that's it. So
yeah. So no. It's actually an ideal job, and landed on your feet there, really. The internet is back. Why was the internet gone, Rena? Oh dear. Oh dear! Oh no! It's your it's your new apartment, or the dog chewed the cable probably, or it could be Mashu and it could be Australia. In which case, then that's par for the course, isn't it? Australia, internet, the two do not go together well.
Oh really? Ooh.
Yeah, where were we? Yes, dream job.
Yeah.
No overtime. It never went away. Yes, it may not have for you, but I mean, there are some unfortunate souls who have wonky internet.
Yeah. But yeah.
So yeah, we're in Kanazawa, which, if I remember from your most recent video, you totally love that place. I mean, when did you discover that? When did you discover Kanazawa?
Because of my friend lives there. I discovered it maybe 2 years ago when I first other friends visited her before me, and then I was like, hey, why don't I visit her? And then I went to Kanazawa, and just they are working, she and her husband are of course working, so I couldn't spend the whole time with them. So I went to Kanazawa on my own for several hours, but it was such a nice place. It was maybe the first time that I got a little bit further away from Tokyo. So, and that was quite refreshing, not to live in this overly crowded Tokyo, Shibuya, Shinjuku. When I'm in Tokyo, I'm always in those areas, and it's nice to be somewhere else from time to time.
Yes, speaking of being elsewhere and Tokyo and so on, I mean, I noticed that this is leading into my next question. That within Japan itself and J-vlog scene, of which you are a part, whether you like it or not, is that most J-vloggers seem to be centered in Tokyo or Osaka, or occasionally a bit further away. But I mean, you don't often see, for example, people based in Kanazawa. So obviously, it's obviously tied closely to quite often English teaching in jobs. Leading back up to a question that I forgot. I mean, your job is absolutely non-teaching related. And do you think this gives you a different, and that you are living in Japan, working in Japan, nothing to do with having come over to try and get to live there by teaching, blah 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 blah. So do you think this gives you a different perspective than the typical J-vlogger?
Oh, that's difficult. Oh, wait a moment. Maybe, yeah, maybe. I cannot really compare my perspective because I know only my own perspective. But maybe, yeah.
I mean, if you watch other J-vloggers, do you take cues from other J-vloggers, or do you just do your own thing and leave it like that?
I watch a lot of other J-vloggers too, but not too much because I'm living in Japan myself, so I'm not interested in watching more videos about Japan. I'm already have that.
You've seen all the electric toilets you want to see. Yes. But leading on from that, and that you watch other J-vloggers, but not many. My next question would be, most of them. I mean, I think those that who are in comments who are J-vloggers, and those that are watching after the fact would agree that most of you are Australian, Canadian, occasionally British, people like Shivers and Lisa sometimes, but predominantly former colonials. But you're European, and do you know any other European-based J-vloggers? And do you think there's a difference?
Do I think there? I'm not sure. I think one thing, maybe. Can I add something to the last question?
Yes.
I think one thing that makes a difference between me and other J-vloggers is maybe not everybody, but I have studied Japanese studies for 10 years. So maybe this is something I think that gives me a different perspective on Japan. because I have read so much about it before, and and there are a lot of J-vloggers that like haven't done this.
Yes, they're experiencing more or less for the first time, and gathering knowledge as they go. Whereas you came like with a 10-year background in So that would mean, for example, at your work, you actually, I mean, I have seen, and also in the advert, there's a bit where you come in and zoom in and speak Japanese. But I mean, you are able to sort of speak the language and read it.
Yeah, right. So for me, it's more like maybe for people who come here for the first time or are not that much like, I don't know, it's maybe everything more exciting. And for me, it's more like, oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like, it's, wow, look at this. It's a vending machine. Yeah, there's like 10 on my street, So
I don't know, but other J-vloggers, I know some people from Germany that are doing YouTube videos, but in German,
the ones that were on one of your most recent videos, sort of the taste testing.
Yeah. Those two are also like two of those three guys were studying with me, so they have a similar background like me. So I guess, like, I don't know, their perspective is similar to mine. Maybe. And
perhaps you could put links in, and for all those, I mean, do they have subtitles for those of us not au fait with German? I don't know.
No, I think they don't have subtitles.
Oh dear. Sure. Well, Frederick and ASMR could go and watch them and give them a view.
But they are definitely making interesting content, in my opinion. I don't.
Now, this is interesting because you've had like 10 years of prior to moving to Japan. You immersed yourself in Japanese knowledge, and you've now lived there for how long?
A little bit. Like, I came here for the first time in 2008 and lived here for 1 year, and it all adds up to around 5 years now. Around that, like, I'm here since 2015, but I came here for several times before, so maybe around 5 years now. I would say.
So, I mean, this leads me into the next question: was do you notice yourself, or do your friends notice in you any Japanese mannerisms or characteristics that you might have picked up?
I try to how do you say that, adjust a little bit to the culture by picking up those habits what Japanese people are always doing. Like, what I tried really hard lately is, that's a personal thing, but because of my last relationship, which was, but maybe I can just say, my last relationship was with a Japanese guy. I tried really, really hard to get more into the culture, like, because it wasn't really working with him. So that's, because of cultural differences as well. So I tried a little bit harder really to understand what was going on in his head, because sometimes he was really thinking in a typical Japanese way, in my opinion. I don't know. So I tried to adjust myself.
But yeah, I mean, so you started to become slightly more,
not to be too emotional in public. That's so important here. Not to like overreact when something happens. What else? Being always friendly, Japanese people don't really like to argue. The way they argue is very different. So always being friendly and smiling, or like at least 90% of the time, if possible, and stuff like that. It's not always easy, but I think it's easier for me if I try to adjust myself than expect that Japan is changing.
So you're one person, there are 127 million, so it's a bit. So I mean that leads nicely into my next background. Yeah. There we are. If I talk, you can see two kanji here and a whole bunch of Japanese people. which leads nicely into this question, and you've segued there nicely, if inadvertently. So, to what extent have you? I mean, you could answer this probably perfectly. To what extent have you had personal experience of the concepts of uchi and sato in a circle of friends, and spoken to and interacted with soto? Yes, soto. Yes, I didn't correct my text. Sorry. It was late.
No problem.
So being spoken to and interacting using hone, as opposed to the outer circle, soto, being spoken to using tatame.
Yeah.
So, I mean, so you've had actually probably quite direct experience of that, it sounds.
I especially experienced this while I had my last relationship, because when you have a relationship with a Japanese guy or girl, then I think then you come into this like close relationship, right? Then you are in this like you are not soto. Soto is outside, right? And uchi is inside.
That's right, yes.
So uchi is only family and friends and your, how do you say that, lover or girlfriend, boyfriend. And soto is everything else. And also I had, of course, some Japanese friends. I wasn't really close to many of them, maybe because like being a foreigner is again a little bit different. So as a foreigner, it's still you're in a different position anyway. So for most people, I would say that it was always, I had some friends, but not very, I didn't felt that it was a really close friendship.
Yes, there wasn't a deep connection.
Yeah. Because of this soto uchi thing, I guess. And only some people maybe really were like a little bit more open. Yeah, but I experienced that the most in my last relationship. Especially, you have this moment in Japan where you confess that you like someone, right?
Yes, it's like it's actually a big, serious confession that's expected. I read the other night for the first time. It's one of the things you must do if you wanted to go further, kind of thing.
Yeah. So this was the moment where my last boyfriend totally changed. He was become. It's a little bit like not very polite of me to talk about this yet now here openly, but whatever. I don't know. But this was such a surprise. Like, he was a totally different person before we were together and a totally different person after we. So this was like the biggest, how do you say, like,
revelation.
Yeah, this was Uchi and Soto. This was, then I was his girlfriend, and then he was like totally open about anything, everything.
Yeah, kind of like, the opinions that he'd kept bottled up, the views, his and all that kind of thing. Suddenly, you were now Uchi, so you could get to hear it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whether you wanted to or not.
Yeah. So yeah, there I experienced that. But apart from that, like, yeah, normal friendships, and I don't know. No, that's it.
So there we have it. I mean, Drew's saying is, I get what you're saying. That's true.
Okay. Good to know.
So, I mean, we'll go on to that, because now, I mean, that must have been sort of fairly, I don't know about the quite right word, not pleasant, a not pleasant ending. But recently you posted something on Instagram or Twitter.
Yeah.
I can't remember which was, and there was quite a little bit of text with it, which I read through, and you appear to be quite happy. and for some reason, and it was all very suggestive of something. Are you able to elaborate? Are you able to elaborate in public? Is it okay?
It's okay. It's totally fine, I think. Yeah.
Please elaborate.
Should I explain it? Okay, no. Just maybe it's enough because I can't say much so far, but I have a new boyfriend.
Ah, there we are. Right. It was that. It wasn't that see-through dress, was it? That did it? No. Because Masha was asking, you know, did you go out in the see-through dress?
Yeah, I went out in that dress. It was totally.
But that has no bearing on the forming of the new relationship.
No, I hope not. No. That had nothing to do with it.
No, but I mean, yes. And may I ask, is it another Japanese person or not?
I'm always not sure how much I can say. It's half Japanese. It's a half Japanese, half Korean. Kind of.
Okay. Right. So now you need to do a bit more research on Korea. You'll never know more. So, well, I'll tell you now. I've got all this list of Korean history things. I'll send it in a link to your chat, and you can impress your boyfriend. Did you know, darling?
That makes
the first metallic printing press was invented.
Yeah.
So that's been explained. That's jolly good.
Yeah.
Right. Speaking of that, I mean that leads into my next question. I thought these out very carefully. I mean, you were just saying before as well that you don't know how much you could say in public. We're on we're on social media here. We've lost 2 people. I don't know, but 8 people are still social mediaing with us.
Yeah.
To what extent do you find social media is useful as a useful means for yourself for being public about personal matters, or not? I mean, like you said, you don't know how much you could say, but I mean, people do tend to say it, you know.
Yeah. I'm way more careful about what I say now on social media, like I was before. And maybe 1 year ago, it was 1 year ago, I posted much more personal stuff on social media, on Instagram especially. Like because you have this, because on Instagram you can write, so like you don't have like on Twitter. You're not restricted to those 200 and I don't know how many characters. So I love sometimes to just write down on Instagram how I'm feeling, or I used to do that. And then I got into a fight with a friend about this personal stuff. And it was a fight with a friend. But still, like, it reminded me of the fact that I should be much more careful about this. But I'm not that careful because I'm not that famous anyway. So
yes, but yes, you have to just check, keep records, the backtrack, you know, so that you know when you do get famous, you can go back and delete it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so maybe in the future, but now I don't know. But I try not to post personal negative stuff. I think like if I post something positive, then it's 99% like who would complain about that? Like if I write, so. And I try to write not negative stuff if I'm feeling down or like, I don't know. Yeah, because I can be pretty dramatic if I'm feeling down and pretty, I don't know, like, so.
And this is like, I mean, you may be able to sort of explain the way you feel is often related to what you eat. You can see where this is going, don't you?
Yeah.
I mean, because I know you've posted on Instagram, and I know you've like sort of had videos where you're eating sweets and things, and you did your no sugar challenge videos. But I didn't realize until I read your blog about the no sugar challenge that you actually had and you discovered for yourself that a sugar addiction. I mean, things like you know, you were at your parents who hardly have any cookies or sweets in the house, and you were like got there on a visit, and within a day you were sort of like craving. And you know, since then, presumably since you did that no sugar challenge, my question is, have you been able to regain control of your mind and your body about this with regard to this? I mean, do you no longer, I mean, we can't see the piles of chocolate bars behind you. So.
I always have chocolate always in my fridge, but I think I have slowly become better at eating healthier. When I remember myself around 10 years ago, when I started to live on my own for the first time, it was really bad because like nobody was controlling what I was eating. When I was living with my parents, I think there were no big problems because I was eating together with my parents. Somebody was cooking for me. Everything's fine. But when I started to live on my own, like I think it was really bad. Yeah, and
because you felt, I mean, the sugar was giving you a hit, and you were feeling you and the chocolate. There's something in chocolate that fires off things that in your brain that are associated with love as well, which is why people get addicted to chocolate. But so yeah, so I mean, what I'm saying is, were you eating sugar to that quantity as kind of like an emotional crutch, and then it became an addiction, or what?
Oh, I don't know. I just always liked sweets. Maybe it always started like when I went to school, I spent a lot of my time at my grandmother's house, and I think it started already there.
You just force-fed you cookies and biscuits. Have some more.
She had always something sweet at her place, always, and she wasn't.
That's what grannies do.
Yeah.
That's a granny's job to sort of like boiled sweets.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah. and I wasn't thinking about this. Like for me, it was like no big deal.
But your dentist didn't think so, no. So I mean that was your life, as it were, until, I mean, what was the turning point? What made you think, God, I've got to do something about this?
Well, there were several turning points. One turning point was that I was a vegetarian for 2 years, and this made me realize I was a little bit stupid, always have been, and being a vegetarian, I didn't do it right. So I wasn't taking supplements or anything, and it wasn't good for my body. That made me, for example, realize how important meat is, or at least everything that is in meat. And so how important it is to eat well, for example. Then several years ago, I read an ebook about, what was it about? About eating habits, dieting, eating habits, etc. And this was also pretty revealing to me. Like, this was the first time I read about nutrition and everything that you basically need that your body needs, etc. Yeah, and
then you decided to do the no sugar challenge just to see whether you could.
Yeah, this was like a late. Yeah, it just changed slowly over the years. I always have had a phase where I was like falling back. Can you say that? Like where I was eating very unhealthy.
By the wayside. Tonight on Simonの茶の間, we have Morgain Le Fae, who fell by the wayside. But you're back on the wagon, as it is the term. You now have it under control. You say you've got chocolate in the fridge. Oh, right. But Phyllis is here. She says a Hershey bar and a ribeye a day help keep the doctor away. I don't know. Steak and chocolate. So yes, I mean you're back on the healthy trip, and just in moderation. Everything is moderation now. So you have chocolate.
Lately it's good. Lately it's really good.
There we are, audience. Take note, and reduce your chocolate intake. So let's change it up a bit. You've mentioned also in your blog post, I was going through your blog, that you that watching YouTube is what inspired you to start making videos of your own. But with regard to that, how much, given the quality of Japanese television, how much of your screen entertainment and information now comes from YouTube in comparison to TV and Netflix, would you say?
Okay. This changes now and then. I was watching only, not Netflix, do you know Hulu? The Japanese version of Netflix. Oh, I'm not using Netflix, I'm using Hulu. And I was watching Hulu for pretty long time only, every day. But lately I started to watch more YouTube videos to get some more inspiration and just also for entertaining purposes. And I started to, every time, like when I start to discover something new and exciting on YouTube, I'm back on YouTube for a while and watch more YouTube than I did before. Lately I started to watch more like travel vlogs and stuff like that.
And speaking of vlogs and things, you recently collaborated with some of the people in the audience here with Rena. And do you have any plans to? I mean, because this is also because in Instagram again, there appeared to be somebody in a photograph in a rather pink-looking cafe that you said you may be collaborating with in the future. So yes, will you be collaborating with the other vloggers in the future?
Yeah, I have some ideas. Like I already made some plans. Also with Rina-chan, we also have, like, when do we meet next month and do something together. But also with like 1, 2, or 3 other people. I don't know if I can give away too much now, but because it's not really 100% settled everything. But I think if everything turns out well, you will see the videos later.
Radri has now sort of joined us from the dinner table, and he says, "I'm here." I don't know whether that means he's just saying I'm here, or whether he's saying I'm here, collaborate with me. I'm not quite sure. I look tired. Well, yes. Thank you, Radri, for that. It's the camera. It's the light. It's also warm in this room, and I think I woke up about 4 o'clock this morning. It's just an age thing. I mean, like you were saying on Twitter, you're looking to get up at 6:30 each morning now and be energetic. I get up at 6:30, but I've been awake since about 4 o'clock. It's just an age thing. So yeah, both, says Radri, that he is here now, and yes, he would like to collaborate.
Okay.
There you are. I'm connecting people on my show.
Yeah. If he wants to collaborate, he can contact me. I don't know, on YouTube or wherever. Twitter.
Yes, just subscribe. If you aren't already subscribed, Radri, subscribe to our channel. Go to the About section, and you'll find all the other contact details.
Yeah, leave me a message.
You too can be on Why Come Japan.
Yay!
and you can repeat everything you've told me on this show. We've established that you actually can speak Japanese, and that you and this is influenced your outlook. But I'm just wondering, because you can speak Japanese, have you ever attempted to tap into the Japanese YouTube audience?
Yeah. I mean, I would really like to do more Japanese videos, but the thing is also, like, right now at the moment I'm doing YouTube maybe more for fun. just for just for fun. So I like adjust that to the people I meet. If I meet with German friends or foreign friends, I want to talk to them too while I'm filming, so I will speak in English. So not to make it too complicated for the people I'm with. And if I meet with Japanese friends, I would also speak in Japanese. But at the moment, like, I meet mostly my foreign friends. So I don't know. I really want to make more videos in Japanese, and I really want to make subtitles for everybody. But making subtitles is like, have you ever tried to make subtitles?
I tried once. I mean, I have in my ordinary videos, not my live streams, but one or two of my ordinary videos, I attempted some Japanese. It took ages, bloody ages.
Yeah, right?
I one video and I gave up. You know, just look at the pictures and listen to the music. You know, I don't say anything. You don't need any subtitles. It's probably why nobody watches. That's why. Right. Here's a good question. We're getting towards the end of the show, but we'll go on to another of your interests.
Okay.
Okay. You often buy clothes, judging from the videos. It says, do you find you are influenced in your choices by what Japanese women wear on the street, or are you influenced by more European styles and looks, or something completely different?
It's both. I'm influenced by both. I'm still not comfortable with only wearing Japanese clothes. It's very feminine. The Japanese, like what Japanese women are wearing. So I'm not 100% comfortable with that. So I make it. It's depending. It depends on my mood. So some days I wake up and I want to dress all in black and totally like
emo,
like something. Wear something simple. The simplest. Yeah. And sometimes I want to look cute and wear a skirt and something like that, and pink like this. And I don't know. It's really depending on how I feel when I wake up. So I have different things at home. I have some cute things here and something like very boring. So
well,
I can't really.
I wake up and I have a choice between very boring, slightly boring, or okay.
Yeah, maybe that's also.
Yes, my fashion influences are what happens to be on the rack in the second-hand shop. So, I mean, yeah, Kanazawa. Yeah, you could nip down to Kanazawa. Do you do that sort of? Do you browse through the sort of like the trendy retro clothes shops there sometimes?
Oh,
I mean,
again.
Yes. Do you sometimes go to the, like in Kanazawa and Koenji? Do you go to the retro clothes stores there? Loads of and check those out.
Yeah, I go there. That's not really my preference when it comes to clothes, but I go there very often. And yeah, but I don't buy there many things.
Now, speaking of clothing and Japan, and you have an in-depth knowledge of Japan, and you like to buy clothes, and you depends how you feel when you wake up in the morning, what you're going to wear. But I've looked through all your videos. I could be wrong, completely wrong, and that I've not looked carefully enough. But I've never seen you in a kimono. And have you in your years in Japan spent any significant amount of time wearing one, or have we just not seen it?
Oh, I should have searched for a picture. Do you have my Facebook account?
Yes, I do, but I can't call it up right now. But yeah,
I think maybe there's a picture, a very old one on Facebook. Maybe.
There we are, very old.
Yeah, because I bought a kimono in 2008. And I was wearing it 1 or 2 times in this year, in that year. And then I have 2 kimonos, but I can't wear them because they're in Germany. Ah,
okay. Oh, right.
Yeah.
Right. You took them back with you after your visits and you're left with it. You can buy. I mean, you can go and buy a fresh one. You know, there's nothing stopping.
They're so expensive. No,
there are some. I mean, I did some research sort of a few years ago, and they do have second-hand sort of antique ones that you can get for reasonable prices.
And they're still very expensive. I bought one of those antique ones. I bought one of them, but kimonos are still, compared to the one you wear in the summer, the yukata. A kimono is still pretty expensive, I think.
Am I frozen? I appear to have frozen, or is my...
frozen.
Oh dear! I appear to have. This could be like it's now the show. Am I back? No, I'm frozen again.
No.
There's something. I've got too many tabs open, probably. So yes. You would probably not buy a kimono because they're too expensive.
Yeah, but maybe I'm going back to Germany this year in December, so maybe I bring one or maybe two with me. This time, because I'm planning to stay in Japan for a while and I want to wear them from time to time.
Oh yes, I mean yes, I mean it's quite often a common thing for non-Japanese to go out and get the geta and the kimonos. I'm just trying to start my camera.
And if I don't forget it, I bring them with me. And oh no, something's happening.
I've lost all my. I'm back again. Oh, there we are.
Yeah, cool.
Yes, technology.
Yeah. Sometimes you never know why it is working or why it isn't working.
My friend Chuck, who's in comments, she's currently in Hong Kong, but she's originally from Japan. She says, if you go to Nippori or Kamata, you may find relatively cheap second-hand kimonos.
Yeah, but what means cheap? What means cheap?
Give us some prices. Give us some sort of ballpark prices, please, here, Chuck. in yen.
Like I think I don't know if I'm
aware she's a poor, fully employed, full-time professional in Japan.
Like
we're just now waiting for Chuck to do a quick Google search.
Look, I think I paid for my used kimono still €300, around that.
She got an obi for 1,000 yen. Well, there you are.
Obi, but only the obi.
And 3,000 yen for a haori.
What is that? I don't know what
that's a kind of like a jacket kind of thing.
Okay.
So it's looking reasonable. That's only I mean about altogether about €40. So if you've got a full kimono,
that's not the kimono itself.
No, the kimono would probably, I would say, be another about €50. So with an obi, that's only €60.
Oh wow!
So yeah, you need to get to Nippori or Kamata. Nippori is quite nice. You can have a wander about there. There's Nezu Shrine and everything close to there.
Well, I see. Maybe I just bring my own kimonos. So, and then next year you get all photos and stuff.
Oh,
me
cool.
Wearing kimono.
Well, any more questions from the audience?
Oh yes, please. Questions.
Yes, questions from the audience. I'll throw it open to the audience now. Now that my camera is working again, I probably need to close some of these. Oh, it's all gone quiet. the audience is thinking. The audience is thinking. There is a 15-second lag, I suppose. Yeah. But if there are no more questions from the audience within the next minute, I think we shall probably round it up.
Yeah, no problem. When did you start this?
I started in April. I started this particular show. Yeah, I mean, the last Three Old Dudes was in March.
Okay.
And a week later, I started this. And Mashu and Reno were my first guests.
Yeah.
So Enigma Dave has realised that we're off. Thanks, Simon. Yep, thanks, Enigma Dave.
Yeah, thank you.
Landry has been furiously taking notes. Well, if there are no more questions, I shall round up the show. I shall do it in my usual fashion by thanking the guests very much for joining me, and also to say that next week an advert will be appearing as usual for next week's show fairly soon, because it's already been made. And next week I may be doing I won't be doing a fouette. I may be doing a pirouette. And I shall be doing it in the company of a ballet dancer who does that on the side. You may have heard of her. It is Asagi from Asagi's Life. She will be joining me next week, and I hope you all can join me then. But for now, I'd like you to say thank you very much to Morgain Le Fae, and I hope you enjoyed the show, and I will see you all next week. Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Yeah, thank you for having me on the show tonight.
Bye.
Yeah.